Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon. sir.
Well, yourself?
I'm wonderful.
Good, good.
March the 11th.
Okay, thank you. It's SAP reset day.
I was reading your mind.
Thank you. It's not too hard to do something.
You said it, not me.
State, what did y'all do with Moore? Jasmine Moore. I didn't see on the calendar. I saw on the pull sheet though.
I dismissed it. She doesn't need a
Okay.
criminal case. She needs help with her child.
Okay.
Mr. Chataya, I have been informed that we will not have the interpreter for your case position, I think number 4, Mr. Dieng, until 3:30 this afternoon. Happy to give you the opportunity to speak with him, but I also just wanted to let you know that I plan on now that I see his record, I plan on giving him an SOB through the jail as I did the other 2 defendants yesterday. It's also my understanding, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but there is also a hold on all 3 of those individuals from yesterday. So,
And there's no objection from the state on that, Your Honor. I asked for no contact with co-defendants for the other guys, but I understand position 4 and 5 are brothers. Is that correct, Mr. Chate?
I think yes, that is correct.
I would not request a no contact between the 2 of them.
okay, thank you. So you just let me know what you want me to do. I'll hold until the end of the calendar so that you can speak with him.
I wouldn't object to an SOB anyway. I'm not sure if, I guess I'll talk to him anyway to sort of let him know what's going on.
Okay, so I'll just let the jail know that we should hold so that if you want to talk to him without anyone there, you can do it in private once we get to the end of the calendar. So courtroom 2, if you would, is your client Mr. Adama Dieng, or is it Mr. Mamadou?
My client is Mr. Mamadou.
Okay, so we'll hold both Mr. Mamadou and Mr. Adama until the end of the calendar, courtroom 2, if you don't mind for me.
Okay.
All right, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. McClain, good afternoon to you all as well. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. If you do not have a private attorney, we are offering you the assistance of a public defender this afternoon. Where we starting?
By asking the judge.
Come on.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I had an informal non-court, I had a non-court qualified translator, a friend for Mr. Let's see, Sinai, and that's number 12. We need a Farsi interpreter. I don't think I can get that guy back on. And if the state would chat to me what their recommendation is going to be, that will determine how long that's going to take. Because I can get that guy again and explain things if it is indeed a recommendation of a signature.
Okay, so you're telling me that Mr. Sinai does not speak English. He's going to require a Farsi interpreter, and you're asking the court to have someone else other than a certified court reporter interpret for him this afternoon?
No, Your Honor. The person I had that was not certified, I was able to get a certain bunch of information. But I think the state may be, because this is a first arrest and looking at the nature of the charges, I was thinking the state might be offering to recommend a signature bond. If that's the case, I can get that guy again and explain it all to him. But if not, we would need a Farsi interpreter. Court certified, the regular guy.
Your Honor, the defendant's date of birth is 1940. At least that's on the documents that I have.
That's true.
I would love some more information about his situation. These are 2 counts of sexual battery. And so although there's no criminal history, we are asking for an SOB. We're asking for no contact. And if there need to be other
You wait, you
issues
turn
addressed,
85 to get your first.
we would request just some additional information to get a better
I can,
picture.
we could do a really quick breakout and I can tell you what I found out. I've been trying to reach family and I've reached people in his community.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, you all just let me know.
Okay, let's do a break. When we get to his name, let's do a short breakout between the court, myself, and the state. And I think that'll work.
And who do we have?
Andre, this is position 11.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Richmond. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000963E with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest. 2023 theft of property. That's all. It was out of
Okay.
state.
Afternoon, Ms. Tucker.
Good afternoon. This is a dual arrest judge with position 3. The state in Miss Richmond's case would be asking for a $2,000 signature bond with conditions no further contact with Tristan Crane and to stay away from 871 Cresswell Circle, Atlanta. These facts allege that she claimed he pushed her in the living room, choked her, and threatened to kill her. So she went and popped one of his tires and then is on video popping 2 more of his tires. So she popped almost all of his tires. Then he in turn popped one of her tires in retaliation. Considering she doesn't have history besides a theft out of Florida, we are asking for a $2,000 signature bond with condition no further contact and stay away. And it was my understanding from reading of the facts that it is his place that she just moved into. So I'm only asking for the stay away for her.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is my client. We are okay with the signature bond, Your Honor. My client would need a one-time police officer escort back to the location to get her belongings.
Okay, as such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Mr. Crane. Stay away from the Crestwell Circle address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Good
you,
luck
Your
to
Honor.
You're welcome. Good luck to you, Ms. Richmond.
All right, position 3. Come on.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Crane. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000962A with criminal trespass and damage to property and simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
2023 fleeing conviction. Got a 2021 capital case out of Rockdale County. 2020 sale of marijuana. That's it.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, you just heard the facts of these case. I'm asking for a $2,000 signature bond on the criminal trespass and a $2,000 signature bond on this simple battery for a total of $4,000 with no further contact with Kayleigh Richmond.
Mr. Chataya, any objection to any of that?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll accept the recommendation of the state. I guess it'll also be per judge. It will be a $2,000 signature bond on each count. Through pretrial level 2 makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Ms. Richmond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Crane.
All right, next up, position 6.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ferguson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000965Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
25. Open ag assault robbery. It's 24 SC 000593. 2025 probation FTA. 2021 simple battery DV obstruction. Possession of a firearm by convicted felon conviction. 2021 simple battery DV conviction. 2020 battery DV conviction and a 2014 failure to appear.
Ms. Tucker?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $5,000 good bond in this case with condition no further violent contact with Quintisha Ferguson. These facts allege that this defendant accused the victim of being unfaithful. They are married, and he slapped her with an open hand on her stomach. She let us know she felt a sting to her skin, but did not feel a blow internally. The next day she was bleeding heavily, so she went to the doctor. It turns out she was pregnant. She did have a miscarriage.
Excuse me. That didn't sound like
No,
Key
no, no,
Ferguson.
oh,
I don't mean to cut you off.
Ma'am,
Oh.
I will hear from you at the appropriate time. You cannot just chime in. This is a court of law, okay?
Okay,
I
I'm
appreciate
sorry.
I appreciate you being here, but you have to respect who's talking. Okay,
All right.
we will respect you when you're talking, but don't just interrupt people. Okay,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so you're fine. I accept your apology, Ms. Cosby. I will be with you, ma'am. I'm sorry, Ms. Tucker. You can continue.
Yes, Judge. Ultimately, it's just charged as simple battery family violence. There's no correlation between the miscarriage and the slap. But we did speak with the victim in this case. She's on the Zoom, as you heard. I will let her kind of speak for herself, but I will say we've listened to some jail calls in this case. This defendant has called her multiple times, telling her she needs to call us and tell us that it didn't happen. So whatever she says, I would just take with a grain of salt. In addition, you heard the history, 23 cycles out of Georgia, a lot of violent cycles, that pending ag assault, a simple battery family violence conviction, another battery in 2020, as well as a few FTAs. So the state's position is a $5,000 good bond with condition no further violent contact with Quintisha Ferguson.
Okay, and Ms. Quintisha, you're under Cosby. I'm not sure if it's Cosby or Ferguson. But if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I will need for you to unmute yourself and come on camera for me.
I'm driving, so hold on. How you to put the camera on? I gotta pull up. I just picked up the baby. Sorry about that. Hello.
Okay, are you on the side of the road, ma'am?
Over now.
Okay, you don't have very good connection, so can you raise your right hand for me? Use the other hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, that's not true.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court, ma'am?
Oh, because I didn't see on the camera. I thought that was not him, but that is my husband. I thought it was not him. I was driving when I was trying to look at it. My bad. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was telling her. Excuse me, but that is my husband. I just finally pulled over and seen it. That's what I was trying to say. I ain't mean to interrupt nothing.
Okay, you're fine, Miss Cosby. Anything else you want to tell me?
No.
All right. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Chataya?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to request the lowest surety amount for Mr. Ferguson. My client is 46. He's lived in Georgia for the past 32 years and he has good ties to the community. He works for his father's business. It's a moving business and he's worked there for the past 8 years. So he has stable employment. And he's also been a caretaker for the elderly for the past 2 years. So I'm not sure exactly where he works for that. And my client also informs me that he doesn't live at the incident address and that he has another address to go to. With those factors in mind, I just ask for the lowest surety amount that's available to him.
Okay, Ms. Tucker, I believe I heard you ask for no further violent contact. Is that right?
Yes, when we spoke with Miss Quintisha, she let us know that there's not been any violence since this incident. It did occur in February of last year, so I'm okay with no further violent contact.
Okay, it will be a $3,000 good bond, no further violent contact with Ms. Ferguson, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, position 8.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gilbert. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000972A with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last was 2020 probation, 2016 probation, 2010 parole, 08 escape conviction. So that's it.
Tucker?
Yes, Judge, we'd be asking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial with no further contact with Elatice Howard and to stay away from 3539 Lee Place in South Fulton. These facts allege this victim was walking away from a verbal altercation with the defendant, and the defendant kicked him in his back down the stairs. There were no visible injuries. This defendant and this victim were living together. We were able to speak with this victim. They're no longer in a relationship, but they do live together at that location. The residence is the victim's, and he confirmed the events in the warrant, said, you know, this is not the first time that he's threatened him. It's just the first time he's gotten violent, but he does not want this to happen again. He wants him to stay away and to have no further contact. He did let us know he'd be on the Zoom if we could sound for Mr. Howard.
Okay, Mr. Elatice Howard is wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so.
My ex-girlfriend's a woman. I see a man sitting down.
Well, same me.
My ex-girlfriend, her name is Briasion A. Green. That's not my ex-girlfriend.
Well, I'm not sure who you're here for, but we are doing Mr. Jonathan Gilbert, who is
Yes, I'm not the right person.
Oh.
That's the wrong person.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I read position 9. So all of that was for position 9. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is
You want to?
this position 8?
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Gilbert.
Apologies. That will be Miss Anna Helena's case.
Your Honor, this is my case. I apologize.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
So on Mr. Green,
No, Gilbert.
excuse me,
Okay.
number 8.
Okay.
Let's just make it that easy. This is an incident from the 24th. So yesterday at about 8:15 p.m. at the Church's Chicken at 1796 Delow Street Southwest. Police were called to this location based on an assault. There were witnesses as well as surveillance footage of this defendant following the victim as he walked away, leaving the parking lot and striking him repeatedly with his fists. Police spoke to the victim. His name is Finis Rankin. He reported that he'd gotten into an argument with this defendant the day before about some food. I believe the defendant is an employee at the Church's Chicken. And when he went to Church's Chicken the following day, he saw the defendant outside. The defendant went inside quickly and came back outside with another male who then approached him and assaulted him. This was witnessed by someone else in the parking lot as well as on surveillance, like I said previously. The defendant in front of you claimed that he was being assaulted, that the victim was being disruptive, and that the defendant in front of you thought the victim was going to pull out a weapon. Obviously, that was not corroborated by the statements of the witness or the surveillance, Your Honor. There's no identity information about the second person who accompanied this defendant into the parking lot. Mr. Gibson has criminal history that goes up to about 2020 and nothing since then. He's got felony drug convictions as well as escape conviction. And We're asking for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor. We spoke to the victim today. He reports that he does not know this gentleman. He knows that he works at churches and they got into an argument. And the next day he was assaulted by this gentleman. He reported that he's got bruising as a result of these strikes. He does not want any contact. So we're asking for no contact, $2,000 surety, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And thank you. We'd ask you to call for the victim, Mr. Rankin, if he's here.
So I wish you to address doesn't appear so. Mr. Chataya?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to ask this court to consider the possibility of a signature bond, if not the lowest surety amount. My client is 42. He has good ties to Georgia. He is a lifelong resident of the state. He is a high school graduate. He is a manager at the Church's Chicken that was just described. He's been a manager there for 2 months now, and before that, he worked as a cook. So he worked his way up the ladder. Given that his job, actually, there was so stay away was not recommended. So right, we just asked for a surety bond value or the lowest surety amount possible, or a signature bond.
Okay, and Churches is still employing him?
That's my understanding.
Okay, so as long as he has a job there, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Rankin, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you. Position 10.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jameson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000971D with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I counted about 40. A resident of San Jose, California. 2023 theft for services. Trespass, given false name. 2022 probation. 2018 probation. FTA. 2018 obstruction, NOLO. 2016 violation of family violence order conviction. I stopped there.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a criminal trespass case from the Springfield Inn and Suites. That's specifically 3459 Buckhead Loop Northeast. At about 2 a.m., this gentleman was found on the premises, first in room 1019, and then in a stairwell. He had no reason to be there. He wasn't staying at the location, and he told multiple stories that didn't make any sense about who he was there with or who had allowed him to stay with them. I did note that he does have a California address listed on his citation. He has 21 cycles out of Georgia, the last one for arrest for theft of services out of East Point in 2023. This is a multi-state convicted felon. I would note many of his convictions are for possessing weapons and forgery or false identification. We're asking for a $2,000 surety, Your Honor, to stay away from that location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Is this your case, Mr. McLean?
It is, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay,
Yasmin Jameson has a Georgia address on 17th Street. It's unit 2407 at 361 17th. So he says he's been in Georgia for 19 years. I've got phone numbers for his cousin and his mom. He has a high school education followed by an associate's degree, a 2-year degree in marketing. Originally from San Jose, which is his high school, but he also obtained an associate's in marketing. He does film, photography, and editing, and has done that kind of work for 6 years, Your Honor. He would like to ask the court to consider a signature bond.
a $1,000 good bond, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Jameson.
I'll explain that to me. Okay.
All right, Judge, come on, position 13.
Yeah, I'll be with them and just explain what it's written on here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thomas. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0009698 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
10th arrest. Got an open theft by shoplifting. In Columbus, another open shoplifting and trespass. 2022 trespass giving false name conviction. 2022 trespass conviction. 2021 trespass conviction. 2020 terrorist threats. The other probation hold.
Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. The most recent criminal trespass conviction for this gentleman in 2022 out of our jurisdiction required he stay away from the 200 Edgewood Apartments. And it specifically states on the disposition he was ordered to leave Georgia within 30 days of release because he had presented to the court that he intended on returning back to Louisiana. That's in 22 CR 002-686H. He's got 3 priors back to back, 4 actually, 2020, 2021, and 2 in 2022. This is incident from the 24th. So yesterday at about 11:40 p.m. at the Altitude Luxury Apartments at 250 Piedmont Avenue Northeast. The defendant was found sleeping in a common area on the 21st floor. The property manager made a police report and notified officers who then reviewed their report system that the defendant had just been criminally trespassed on February the 29th, 25, also asleep in a common area at the location. So we're asking for a $2,000 surety, stay away from that location, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and we'd request a social worker visit. The citation shows a Riverdale address.
Your Honor, I also show that Riverdale that I got off of Odyssey. He states that he is educated in Columbus, Georgia with Carver High School, and that he took some courses in business management at Fort Valley State following that, Your Honor. He has worked at the Coca-Cola Mason Road or Mason Avenue, College Park, large warehouse. It's just off of South Fulton Parkway. And he worked there for 2 years. He has a cousin whose number I tried, but I haven't reached that cousin yet. And I've tried some other phone numbers. His mom lives in one address and his dad is in Alabama. So we're trying to get hold of those folks. I agree with the social worker idea. We'd ask the court to set as low a bond as possible under these circumstances. Thank you.
Again, Ms. Allen, the hold that he has is for Fulton County. Does he have a Fulton County hold?
I'm not sure. I can look.
Okay, now I just wanted, if he does have a hold, I wanted to place that on the SAP calendar as well. So it'll be $1,000 good bond, stay away from the incident location, social worker visit to assist with housing, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. If he doesn't get out, I'll see him back again at the SAP calendar on March 11th.
Well,
It does look like the probation violation is 22 CR case. So here,
Okay.
and that would be the 22 CR 002686H.
it is likely you will see him at SAP.
Very good. Good luck to you, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mom. Position 14.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wilson. You have been charged in case 25 CR 000968J disorderly conduct, battery, criminal trespass, and simple battery. Your history, Mr. Howard?
40 on probation for trespass. It's 24 CR 004 913 J. 2024 trespass, disorderly conduct conviction. 2023 trespass conviction. 2018 disorderly conduct conviction. 2014 probation. 2012, 2011 fade to appears.
Your Honor,
Howard?
this is an incident from yesterday at about 3:40 in the morning on the 24th of February. It takes place specifically at 160 Ponce de Leon Avenue Northeast. That's a BP gas station. What's of note is that his recent convictions he has 3 cases he pled guilty to at SAP on September the 17th, 2024. 2 of them were at the 180 Ponce de Leon location, and he's been ordered to stay away from there as well. I believe both gas stations, Chevron and this BP, are owned by the same individual. So they're very familiar with him. So at 3:40 in the morning yesterday, police were called by the owner, Mr. Khan, reported that the defendant was assaulting someone there, actually a security guard at the location, Mr. Hawkins. When police arrived, they were told that the defendant had been asked to leave. He'd been previously trespassed from the location, and he'd been asked numerous times on that date as well to leave the location. He refused. He was inside the location. He walked over to the microwave. The security guard, Mr. Hawkins, also asked him to leave. And at that point, the defendant picked up a metal tray and struck the security guard in the face with it and then punched him in the face. He was then detained and taken into custody by police. So he's got 3 cases that he pled to September 2024. All of them are criminal trespass. And they were all suspended sentences. I also see a probation violation warrant issued in Atlanta from December the 10th, 2024. I'm not sure if there's a hold on this gentleman. We did speak to the victim, Mr. Hawkins, who confirmed what happened. He reiterated that the same gas station owners across the street at 180 Ponce de Leon have a constant issue with this gentleman. He is dangerous. He is violent. He's been previously ordered to stay away from the locations, and there continues to be a problem, not just for the safety of the people working there, but customers in general. We're asking for a $4,000 surety. That's $1,000 on each count. Stay away from 160 Ponce de Leon, the BP, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. A social worker visit, no contact with Mr. Hawkins. His first name is Lawrence. And no contact with Mr. Khan. First name is Abuzai, Abuzai. Last name Khan, Khan. He's the owner of both of those locations, Your Honor. Mr. Hawkins, I believe, has joined us if you'd sound for him.
Mr. Hawkins, I see you on the line. If you'd like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I would need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I would have to swear you in if you choose to address the court this afternoon.
I don't know his name.
It appears that he does not wish to address the court. Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, Mr. Wilson is Benny Wilson Jr. He's a junior. He's 62 years old, been in Georgia all his life. His sister has an address here in Atlanta Macon, an address in Macon, and that's his closest relative. He does have some relatives in Atlanta, but he's really closest to his sister. He graduated from Macon, a high school in Macon, Northeast High School. He has a GED. His jobs include electrical work and cleaning, but primarily the electrical work, commercial and residential. He asked the court to consider the lowest bond possible, a signature bond if that is possible. And if that is not in the offing, then he would request a $1,000 surety bond.
I see Mr. Hawkins trying to get on the line here. So, For you, you'd have to continue to try to unmute yourself, Mr. Hawkins. I'm happy to hear from you. Okay, so continue to try, Mr. Hawkins. Like I said, I'm happy to hear from you. Mr. McLean, I think something else is going on with Mr. Wilson here, so we need to figure that out. I mean, you can't keep coming back to us for the same thing. I think that now is the point where we may need a mental health evaluation. So I am going to order a mental health evaluation for him. If you can prepare that for me, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Because obviously something's going on. If we've told him numerous times to stay away from those gas stations, and he's not doing it, and if the public's is in jeopardy. So I want him to have a mental health evaluation. For the disorderly conduct, it's going to be a $500 good bond. For the battery, $1,000 good bond. For the criminal trespass, a $500 good bond. For the simple battery, $1,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $3,000 good bond. Stay away from that BP on Ponce de Leon Avenue. No further contact with Mr. Hawkins. No further contact with Mr. Khan. An MHET. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Mr. Hawkins, I know that you're trying to get in touch with us. I've ordered that the mental health evaluation for Mr. Wilson. I'm sorry that I can't hear from you, but unless you can unmute yourself, I'm happy to hear from you, but that'll be my bond order.
And Your Honor, it does appear that Mr. Wilson has a probation violation hold on 24 CR 004913J.
Okay. Thank you.
501,500.
All right, Judge, I had sent you a message. Can you review that?
I did. Let me take a look at.
She was on yesterday's calendar.
Oh, okay. So what do you need from me?
So she stated that, according to Central, they're trying to do a release for her, but she stated that, I guess on the folder to be released to a certain person, and whatever the person that she said, Jakasha Lee J, she stated that she don't know that person.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull my calendar from yesterday so I can update myself. Give me just 1 second. Oh, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not sure who represented Miss Russell yesterday.
It was Miss Wills representing her on yesterday.
Okay, but it was my understanding, was this your case, Miss Allen, as well, that the mother in this case is the one who gave us these names? Is
Yeah,
that
so
right?
Jacretia Lee J was mom's cousin, and she was going to
Okay.
arrange to have her cousin pick up this young woman from the jail.
Right.
And she was going to go to Shreveport, Louisiana to stay with her grandmother, Martha Harris. And that was all stated in court. And we didn't hear anything from Mrs. Russell about not knowing who these folks were. So we can certainly reach out to mom and get some more information.
Okay, so, right, I agree with that, Miss Allen. So if you could reach out, but she had plenty of opportunity to tell the council that, I mean, we discussed this case for a good little bit yesterday. So until we hear back from mom, she's not going to be released until this Miss Lee J comes and picks her up.
And is the issue that this person has come to get her and the defendant is saying she doesn't know them?
Courtroom 2?
Yes, that's, one of the captain came to the courtroom, stated to me that, she do not know that person. So that's, I guess they were trying to release her. But I guess.
She's gonna have to be picked up by that person unless another person is substituted. So she might claim not to know her, but her mother says that she does know her, and her mother has been the one that's requested that she be released to her.
All right, I will let Central know.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we'll reach out, Your Honor, to the defendant's mom and see if we can
Okay.
jump on. Of
Thank you. I appreciate that.
course.
All right, who do we have next?
Position 15.
Hey, Mr. Woods, good afternoon. You have been charged in case 25 CR 0000967E with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest. I guess he came before you a couple of weeks ago. 2 counts of criminal trespass, 25 CR 0000682E. The open criminal damage to property, reckless conduct, 24 PI 000153. You gave him a $5,000 pretrial bond, so that's surrendered. Got an open entering auto with intent, 25 PI 001098. Opening theft by receiving. That's all.
Yes, Miss Allen.
Thank you, Your Honor. This young man was just released on February the 14th from the Fulton County Jail. That was for his open 25 PI case, reckless conduct and criminal damage to property. The victim in that case is Tiffany Cuevas and Donna Morrow. He's also with that open entering auto case in Superior Court. His bond is to have no contact with those individuals and to stay away from 120 Cheshire Drive in Alpharetta. And that was the bonds, those were the bonds he was released on out of Superior Court just recently. His bond issued by you February the 2nd, 2025, deals with a different address, 196 Holcomb Bridge, and that's a $5,000 SOB through pretrial level 2, like you just heard, for a criminal trespass. He also has a case in bench warrant status of theft by receiving. So those are 4 open cases currently, and a release date of February the 14th from the Fulton County Jail. So this incident happened yesterday at about 9 a.m. at 120 Cheshire Drive, Alpharetta, where this defendant has a current bond order requiring he stay away. Police were called, and the victim, a gentleman named Justice Dawson, reported that he'd moved away from that location a few weeks ago, and when he came to get his things, he found that the television of his had been smashed by being thrown on the ground. He spoke to the defendant as well as police. The defendant admitted smashing the television on the ground and saying that he had been upset. Police also spoke to this defendant's maybe girlfriend, but the woman who lives there, Mrs. Tiffany Cuevas, who he's ordered to have no contact with in another Superior Court case, she was there and present, and she corroborated that the defendant had been the person who damaged the property. So although this is a criminal trespass damage, Your Honor, and we're asking for a $2,000 cash bond, what we are also alleging is that this young man is in violation of multiple court orders. Currently has a 24 CR 0000610E theft by receiving misdemeanor case in bench warrant status, and has that open criminal trespass 25 CR 0000682E that he is in violation of. So we're asking for a $2,000 cash bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, to again stay away from 120 Cheshire Drive in Alpharetta, and have no contact with the victim in this case, Justice Dawson, excuse me. Thank you.
Okay, Justice Dawson is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Mr. McLean.
Your Honor, Trevor Woods is known to the court, represented him a couple of weeks ago. He has been in Georgia for a couple of years, he tells me, and right now he's unemployed. He does have relatives that he talks to. We would ask the court to consider the lowest bond possible in this case we understand that there are problems with the other case as well.
Again, so I believe something's going on with Mr. Woods. He keeps coming back before me, and going back to the same places. I'll need for him to have a social worker visit before he comes to see me on the SAP calendar. So maybe someone can explain to me what's going on with him. So I'm going to take the state's recommendation at this point in time, given that I've already given him a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial, which seems to me to be a bit high, which means that I was thinking something at that time to give him that. And so now that he's right back before me 2 weeks later, it will be a $2,000 cash bond. I'll see him again at the SAP calendar on March 11th, have somebody, a social worker, report to me what they can regarding what's going on with him. Stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Justice Dawson. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Woods.
All right, Judge, you can go to ACDC.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow.
Afternoon, Francois. Hope you're well.
Thank you. Hope you are as well. I do have a quick announcement for position number 1, Ms. Adams. She waived her appearance.
Okay.
And also just to confirm for Ms. Jasmine Moore, she's not on the calendar. I just want to make sure, confirm that she's NOD.
Yes, sweetheart. Thank you for asking. She is a dismissal. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
And can you tell me who the position 1 is that you're talking about? Is it Adams?
Yes, it's Adams.
Thank you.
Oh, Your
And
Honor.
this in front of you, Judge, this is going to be position number 9, Ms. Green.
Okay. And let me address Miss Green as well as the other young lady that's there in the court.
No, she's dismissed.
Okay. So only Miss Green. Good afternoon, Miss Green. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We're providing you with the assistance of a public defender this afternoon if you choose to utilize their service. Ms. Green, you have been charged in case 25 CR 0000964A with simple battery, family violence. So it's my understanding that this was Ms. Green's first arrest. Ms. Tucker, I believe that we've heard this before, but you can.
Yes, just briefly, this was a case where she kicked him when his back was turned. They did live together. He does own the residence and does not want her to return. He actually just sent in the chat that she has somewhere to go if she's released. So we're asking for that $2,000 signature bond with no further contact and to stay away.
Okay, and that was Mr. Alatis Howard, I believe. Mr. Howard was on the line earlier. Are you still with us, Mr. Howard? If you are and you wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
I do.
Okay, you need to come on camera for me, Mr. Howard.
All right, I'm setting it up now. I'm sorry.
While I'm waiting for Mr. Howard to come on camera, Mr. Chataya.
I have no objections, Your Honor. I just asked for a one-time police escort so that Ms. Green can retrieve her belongings from that address.
Okay.
Are you still there? I'm
see.
sorry, I lost signal.
No, you're fine, Mr. Howard. I can hear you. Can you raise your right hand for me, sir? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I was going to say that she did kick me in the back, but I did not fall down the stairs. So I didn't want her to say that she kicked me down the stairs. She just kicked me in the back when I was walking away. That's it.
Okay, and it's my understanding that you want no further contact and you want her to stay away from the residence. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, and she does have belongings there that she's going to need to retrieve.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I'm going to allow her to come back to the resident with the law enforcement to retrieve any of her belongings. Anything further that from the court, sir?
No, sir.
All right, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
As such, it will be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Mr. Howard. Stay away from the Lee Place address. She can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Green.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Okay, all right, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Okay, who do we have next?
Position 12.
Okay.
Your Honor, Dr. Kalantar is the person who speaks Farsi and English. If he could join us in the breakout room, he's a friend.
Okay, do we have anyone there in the courtroom with you still, Mr. McLean?
Yeah, just one. That's in the interpreter case.
No, but who is he? Who's the other guy?
For the interpreter case.
Oh, okay.
So we will need to go into a breakout room. So who do we need in the breakout room?
Myself
Well,
and Your Honor and Dr. Kalantar.
okay, I mean, does it make any sense to go into a breakout room, given that you're gonna be in the room and you're still gonna have the person sitting there with you while you're in the breakout room? We can go off the YouTube if you like.
We can go off to YouTube. I think that'd be fine if the other person.
Okay,
Which is pretty confidential anyway.
okay.